ever one of those nights where you know you're not gonna be able to sleep, and you realize that it's gotten so late that it's actually early morning, and it makes more sense just to stay up? No? It happens to me all the time. But that's not what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna do a 5 fast. We're gonna do 5 fast knives that may be too big to carry in public, depending on where you're at. So, guys, that's it. Let's turn down the volume, because here comes a little bit of music. So you guys probably have already seen the unboxing. I'm not sure what order these knives are gonna go out and things like that, or the unboxing, because I had some videos pre-recorded, but Jared sent this along, and when I opened the box, I immediately thought, you know what, that's way bigger than I thought it was gonna be. That's what she said. But I thought, you know, it would be kind of cool to do a video and just kind of talk on this weird stigma that large knives have. I don't agree with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with carrying a large knife. A large knife is a useful tool. Sometimes they're meant for self-defense and things like that, which is one of them. It's not necessarily the size, it's the configuration. But there's definitely a stigma about carrying a knife that is like a 9-inch folding knife in certain areas of the country. One of them being California, where I live. Not necessarily San Diego, but there's a lot of places. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this around, and we're gonna take a look above at 5 knives that are just maybe a little too big for the average person to have, depending on where they live. I want to start off by saying, well, 2 things. We're going to use this. This is that Ox Osprey that it's just right about 7 inches as a size comparison for all these knives. And the other thing is, I don't agree with this thought process. I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying that this is cool and knives should be limited by size. I'm absolutely not. I'm just showing off knives that I think would fall in that realm of things that might not be perfectly acceptable depending on scenario, areas, places like that. Like, I do know that, like, if you're in an office, are you going to carry a 9-inch knife? Probably not. But so let's go ahead and get into this. This is that Miguron. So this is that Miguron Valona that Jared sent me. I just pulled it out since I didn't get any sleep, really, and started first day in pocket on this. Actually, I did it last night, and I'm going to carry it all day today. This is a really large knife, and the thing is that some of these features get misconstrued and are more aggressive. That blade shape is a very functional blade shape. It's got a big fuller on it. That's not a blood groove. That's one of the things. Some of this misnomers and things like that. This is just a really good big knife. I've done a little bit of cutting with it already this morning to cut up some stuff, and it's very, very functional. But it is a large knife, and it's just, in comparison, like I said, this is a 7-inch knife. That's a 7-inch knife, just in comparison. So you can kind of see some of these things that they just get misconstrued as aggressive. This is a very gorgeous knife. I'm going to do first day in pockets later today, like I said, because I can't sleep. But, you know, it's just one of those things. Does this look aggressive? I don't personally think so, but, you know, it depends on the scenario, depends on where you're at, depends on who you're dealing with, what they may think. So just one of those things that kind of happens. But this is a great knife. So there you go. That's your first one, the Miguron Valona. The next knife that might be too big for carry, depending on where you're at, and, you know, just scenarios, is my Grimsmo Norseman. It is my favorite knife of all time. It is my grail knife. I carry it daily. Like, there's not a day that this is not in my pocket. But as you can see, compared next to that 7-inch Oaks Osprey, it is a large knife. Now, this knife might not garner the disapproval as badly as some of the others, because it has a unique look that I think would get more attention based on its looks than it would on it looking aggressive. This does not look like a tactical knife. I'm here to tell you this is a great, great knife. Is it too big? No, I love the size on it. It gives you really good use. If you're cutting down cardboard, you've got that big belly. It's super sharp, takes a great edge, and it's not an aggressive knife in my opinion. However, this is another one of those knives that falls outside of what is probably legal in a lot of municipalities. It's a flipper and it's large. You could get in a lot of trouble. Just for perspective, like I said, fold closed, it's still large next to that Oaks Osprey. So, you know, it's another one of those knives that just might be one of those ones that you do not want to pull out in certain areas or carry. If you're going to New York City, don't carry this. You're going to San Francisco, do not carry this. Matter of fact, you're going to New York City, don't carry anything with a pocket clip. So there you go. There's number 2, my Grimsmo Norseman. The next knife we're going to look at might not be just because of size. This is an aggressive, predatory looking knife. This is one that to tell you the truth, I would be hesitant to pull this knife out of my pocket in public pretty much anywhere. But the fact is, this is not like an everyday carry that you're going to carry for day-to-day use, for opening boxes and stuff like that. This is pretty much, I mean, not just pretty much, this was designed as a self-defense tool. It's based off of the civilian. This is the Spyderco Matriarch 2. Now, I will say, as much as I bag on Spyderco knives, this knife is incredible. This one in particular, that I own, is a great, great showing from Spyderco. This was designed for use by women in South Africa. I'm sorry, it was based on the civilian. They freaking dogs. That, guys, we got an ambulance service that drives the dogs nuts. What I was saying is this was designed for the South African government at request of the South African government. There were so many assaults and things that were happening on women that they wanted a more affordable version of the civilian, scaled down, a little bit smaller. They based it off of their Endura series, basically made that S-shaped blade for it. So this is designed as a self-defense tool. So this is one that I would not pull out in public at all, like period, because the only time I would ever have this knife out of my pocket if I needed it for a self-defense measure. But as you can see, next to this Oaks Osprey, it is still a really large knife, even with that big curved blade. If you straighten that out, it'd be even longer. So this might be something you would want to shy away from pulling out in public, because the only time I would ever carry this is if I were going someplace to a bad neighborhood. I've got it set up for left-hand carry, which is out of norm for me, because I would want something that is basically something I could use for self-defense. But like I said, way too large, way too aggressive before I would, certain places, yeah, no problem. But where I live, no, I would not pull this out in public. So there is number 3, the Spyderco Matriarch 2. Next knife is a knife I really, really love. It is the WE 601. This is the first WE knife I ever bought. This is actually a very good tactical knife design, if you want to really know. It's very similar to a lot of actual like combat knives and things like that. It's just done in a folding form. It's really attractive. It's a really good knife. But the fact is, once again, we are looking at a knife that is way outside of the norm for a lot of places. Even this knife would be illegal in some areas of California, the Oaks Osprey. So in comparison, you can see this is a very large knife. And it has an aggressive look and things like that. So this would be a knife that would not be in my bag if I was going like New York or San Francisco or Los Angeles, any of those places. But this is a great, great knife. It still gets carried a lot. It's the first knife that I ever got from WE, and it just really showed me that they were doing a bang up job there. So yeah, this one is just one that I don't think would be in most people's, like if you're in an office, are you going to pull this out in office? I mean, just listen to it. That's going to get somebody's attention. You know what I mean? So there you go. There is number 4, the WE Knife Company 601. Just a little bit bigger than what most people are comfortable being around if you pulled it out in public. I saved the one for last that I think is going to have the biggest impact. This thing is the Artisan Cutlery Mastiff. And they could have just easily named it the Artisan Cutlery Massive, because not only is it way outside of blade length, I want you to look at the size of that thing. This is a hatchet that folds into a handle. And this is going to be something that a lot of people are not going to be comfortable seeing you pull out in public. Me, I don't care. I think it's an attractive knife. And it is still, even as big as it's a very, very functional knife. It comes down. But is it socially acceptable to carry this some places? I personally think it shouldn't matter. I want to get rid of that stigma on large knives, but I mean, seriously, look at the size of that thing compared to that Osprey. It is massive. That is a huge, huge knife. It's a big chunk of steel, and it's just one of those things I think would send off alarm bells depending on where you're at. But just look at how beautiful it is. I carry this knife a lot. It gets a lot of use. It carries well. It sharpens well. It holds an edge. And you know, it's just one of those things. I don't think this looks as aggressive as some of the others, but it definitely would get someone's attention, especially like just this. It's like the W601, the sound of it just really flies out. But yeah, there's another one that just is not, it's just not something I think you should carry in certain areas based on municipalities and things like that. And the thing is, guys, check your local laws and find out what you can and can't carry. Because if you can carry something like this, if you want to, the law's on your side, as long as you're not brandishing it about in public and things like that, you should be fine if it's legal in your municipality and your state. So guys, let's turn this around and do some final thoughts. So there you go, guys. Those are 5 knives that just might be too big for the average person to carry, depending on scenario. I mean, like if you're in an office, really, if all you do is office work, are you going to carry something this size? I don't think so. But, you know, it's just a weird stigma. So that's it on this one, guys. It was just a 5 fast. I hope you guys enjoy the content. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. But please try to tell me why. I can't adjust the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as what I do a lot of times when I put a channel back here and I share it with you guys. If you share the content with people you think would like it, we get a broader viewer base, we get better interactions and things like that. And it's just a lot more fun. It's not as closed loop. It's not an echo chamber. But if you do want to support the channel financially, there's a lot of ways you can do it. First and foremost, the best way for me is I have a membership tab down below that gets you in on early access to videos, exclusive content based on tier, premium tutorial, sharpening tutorial series for the premium tier members, monthly giveaways, and everyone that's paying member gets $5 off per knife for sharpening. There's other ways to do it. I have affiliate links down below. Anything you purchase in the affiliate links, even if it's not the item you clicked on, I still get credit for it. Amazon doesn't charge you any extra, and I get a little bit of money from your purchase. And the last way is I have a merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co. I have a coupon code that saves you 10% anywhere on Ember Shirt Co. It's CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, all one word. Saves you 10% at checkout. Guys, I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. Hopefully you're getting more sleep than I am. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next video.